Hello everyone and welcome back to another very exciting must-see chess game by Paul Morphy. So this is also one of my favorite Paul Morphy chess games. In this game Morphy had the white pieces and his opponent is a chess player named Isaac Hart. So this game was played in 1854 in the United States. So Morphy starts the game with e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, d4, and this is the Scotch opening. E takes on d4, bishop to c4, d6, c3, so we have the Scotch Gambit. D takes on c3, so for the quick activity Morphy is sacrificing pawns. For the rapid development, so attacking on f7, defending, castling, b6, and this is weakening the light squares, so we can put question mark next to this move. The first significant weak move by Hart. So Morphy's opponent start to play like some other opponents of Paul Morphy. He started to play like a wood pusher, very typical for that era. Which move was better? C takes on b2, bishop takes, bishop to d7. This was the better way to handle this position for black. So castling and b6, weakening the light squares. Knight takes on c3, and this actually reminded me the famous opera game. So Morphy also had a similar piece development in the queen side in the opera game. Knight to a5, forking two pieces, defending the queen and the bishop. Knight takes, queen takes on c4, bishop to b7. Well, of course, if something else, let's say knight to f6, this would be a horrible blunder because of forking the king and the rook. So in this position, Morphy is threatening queen to c6, bishop to b7, defending on c6 and developing the bishop. But this time, instead of developing c5, should have been considered. This is much more solid for black, but white is still slightly better. So in the game we have bishop to b7, rook to e1, castling, bishop to f4. Morphy finished his development and black is behind in the development. So f6, and I also put a question mark next to this move. What is this? An ugly looking move. Also this is blocking knight's natural square, and the knight can't hop in on f6 right now. It looks like black doesn't want to develop. It looks like he is asking for it. Knight to f6 should have been considered, and this was much better, simply developing. Okay, so we have f6 and then creating queen rook battery in the open file, rook from a to c1, aiming at the king. Knight to d5 is in the cards. So king to b8, knight to d5. So the c pawn is under siege and the queen is under attack. Black is in huge pressure. The knight on d5 is a pain in the neck. So Hart can't let that knight stay on d5. Getting rid of the problem knight, e takes on d5. But now this opens the rook with tempo, attacking the queen. So queen to d7, defending the queen, and knight to d4. Now the knight gets a step closer to the king to make some trouble. So for example, knight to c6 is going to fork the king and the rook. And this looks like a problem. So in this position, black is developing and defending on c6, and this is also a question mark, but it was a difficult move. Defending on c6, knight check, forking the king and the rook, but we see series of very accurate moves by Mr. Morphy. Now the first move, defender elimination tactic, rook takes on e7. What a move. So black has to capture with the bishop. If queen takes, then knight to c6, family fork. So after bishop takes on e7, can you guess the best move for white? This is very important. What would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? Okay, queen to h6, pinpoint accuracy by Paul Morphy, not allowing king to b7, escaping and defending the key square of b7. Right now, knight to c6 is a very big threat. Knight to c6, moving the king, queen takes on e7, checkmate. So after basically knight to c6, black doesn't have a good defense. Actually, in this position, black doesn't have a good defense, so the only defense is pushing the pawn, or c6 are the only defensive moves available for black, and both of them they are all losing. To d takes on c6, so defending the queen. So in this position, why queen to a6 was a very important move. So if knight to c6, question mark, a patzer sees check, gives check. Now black is in the ball game, defending the very important weak key square, king to b7, and now white's advantage is fading away. So white is not achieving anything, and what is white going to do next? Nothing, actually. So the position is almost for about equal, and white is slightly better, and that's it. So queen to h6 first was very important. As a very accurate chess player, Morphy saw this immediately, probably. So after this move, we have c5, but this fails to en passant, defending the queen, because if queen to c7, then knight to b5, and black has to resign, of course. So if defending the queen, queen takes checkmate. So queen to c8, but this is losing by force. c7, forking king and the rook, capturing, promoting the queen. The queen is hanging, but this is pinning the queen. And then knight to d5, threatening checkmate. Only defense, one of the only defense. And then rook to c7, the final winning move. And after this move, there is no logical defense. Mr. Hart resigned with a broken heart. The possible continuation, queen takes on c7. So how to defend? Basically, rook takes, queen takes, checkmate. So queen takes, but this is also getting checkmated very shortly. So queen takes on c7, checkmate. Okay, so this is why in this position, instead of knight to c6 and allowing king to b7, and black is in the ball game, this is why first queen to a6 was very important. And after this move, Isaac's heart was very broken. His heart was broken. And that's the pun for this chess game, which fits perfectly. So maybe he was expecting check and king to b7, and life was going to be good, but not after queen to a6. And this loses very quickly. Okay, so after rook to c7, there is no defense, and you know the reason well. So thanks so much for watching. Take care and bye bye.